Hello, and welcome to the Unsung Tales. My name is Kimi. I am your Loremaster for this actual play campaign. This is session number 10, and we are playing the One Ring, second edition, put out by Free Gaming. So if you'd like to find more sessions of this game, you can go to happyjacks.org/unsung tales. Skip the for that. And if you want to find all the shows and actual play campaigns in the past and the present for the Happy Jacks Network, there's like 25 plus systems. There's a lot at this point. You can go to happyjacks.org. For tonight, just so you know, we have safety tools in place. We've done lines and veils, and we also have X cards in play at all times. So let's go ahead and go around and introduce our characters for tonight. Let's start over here, Dave.
Aha! Hi, everybody. I'm Kadave, and I am playing Hannar, the Dwarf. We're both he, him. Experienced Ghostbuster at this point, right? I feel like I should get my little last name patch. That's 2 ghosts we've dealt with successfully.
True.
But
really is.
yeah, I'm ready. See what happens next, because we have so many threads out there. So I'm excited.
I'm hearing like this beautiful like Middle Earth lute music of da 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 da, like the Ghostbuster theme. It's not in tone, but it'd be beautiful.
I'm very much so hearing it as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
That's what the Song of Annumina says.
No.
No,
We're not busting the ghost.
It's I Want a New Drug by Huey Lewis. Because,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Jay, and I'm playing Burl Sausage Brandy-bottom, a Hobbit of the Shire, and a messenger at that. And like Kadave and Hannar, we are both he, him. And I'm glad to be back after Sausage's adventures elsewhere.
Glad you're back.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. And I am playing Aerlind of Mithlond, a Lindon elf who uses he, they pronouns. And busting ghosts. What a weird concept. Go on, then.
Hello, I'm Sam. I play Runa, who is a Barding of Bree. She's a treasure hunter. Likes to climb stuff, find ghosts, and generally cause chaos.
Mm-hmm. All right. And yes, I'm Kimi. I'm your Loremaster. I use she, her pronouns. And so last time on the Unsung Tales, Sausage was called away by a letter that was very mysterious. We weren't sure what was in it, so we'll figure that out in just a few minutes. The rest of you decided to follow up on the rumor that you'd heard from the braggarts, Benedict. Yes, a couple sessions ago about there being a ghost wandering the hills or the walk or the. I'm fine. Everything's fine. The roads to the north, and so you decided to go that way. You'd also heard some other rumors as you were traveling about this ghost being very different from the ones that you met in Annuminus. This one is actually attacking and hurting travelers and killing some of them. You decided first we caught up with Hannar, who had missed the previous session because he'd gone back to his dwarven home with this giant pearl that he'd collected when you fought the lake monster. And you brought it, you met an old stone singer, and him and his student helped you determine that though it was not stone, it was a pearl. In fact, there was a stone at the center of it. And you very bravely decided that you wanted to know what was in it.
Brave, foolish, a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Yeah. I didn't say wisely. Bravely. Decided to open it, and you found it, and you found this weird stone. You touched it, and it gave you a vision, because you'd wondered where it came from, and it gave you a vision of what was essentially Valinor and the West. And you brought it back, and you're like, hey, friends, look at this thing.
It has a lot to say.
Yeah, it's got a whole bunch to say. And Aerlind was like, oh, no. Okay, that's the Palantir, and I do want to touch it too, though. Please yes, say that. So everyone decided to touch it. They were not as successful as you were. with Runa being the least successful.
It didn't go good.
No, because she wanted to see the other stones, right? You wanted to see where the other ones were.
Yeah, because Aerlind said there were a bunch of other ones, and I was like, ooh, where are those?
Yes, and that didn't work out so well for you. The stone didn't seem happy with that, so you got a bunch of shadow damage from that. And Aerlind, after Runa did that, still decided that he wanted to touch the stone because wisdom and knowledge. Come on, who can turn that off? So you touched it as well. You didn't have quite as much damage because you had a somewhat not you had a successful roll, or
No, I failed.
Okay, you failed, but you have a Tangwar, that's what it was, or something.
I don't remember.
There's something mitigating quite
Well,
how much damage there was.
Also, it was not looking in the wrong direction.
That's true. That's right. You were wanting to see things to the west. So, but since you failed, you also took some shadow damage. And Sausage wasn't there for that particular temptation, although you still have the stone, so there's time.
You want to put to the bad rock?
Yeah. So from there, you decided to, okay, we'll just keep this in this pearl. It's like chained up with this beautiful silver chain. No, it's not mithril, but silver chain that the dwarves gave you to kind of keep it closed in. So hopefully you're hoping that might shield you from its power or something.
Well, at the very least, it's touch-proof as long as it's locked up in its chain.
Right, touch-proof. That's definitely the
Like,
only
it
thing
won't
you
be
should
like,
worry about.
oops, oh, I touched it again.
Oh no, yes.
Covering Palantirs is a thing that people do.
It is, absolutely. This is
Seems wise.
not the worst
Yeah.
safety precaution that you could take. So then you did go up and to confront this ghost that was haunting the roadways to the north of Creek's Crossing. You found them, and you first saw like this beautiful golden music box that looked like a little red bird in a golden cage. And it played this song, and it was just kind of sitting. It was very clearly a piece of like very expensive treasure sitting on the roadway. You were wise enough from having just touched something that you shouldn't have touched to not go touch it. So you kind of stayed safe, and you had a confrontation with the ghost who was obviously using it as a trap or was somehow connected to it or haunting it or something. You did defeat them. It ended up being a nobleman of like hard to kind of tell exactly what age. It wasn't the high Numenorian age that where they built a numinous and such things, but possibly a few generations after that. And he just kept saying it was too late. It was too late until you.
I thought it was a lady.
No.
No, this one was a
Dude.
gentleman.
The rumor
Oh.
you'd heard was a lady.
Oh,
But then other rumors started popping up that it was different, like all these different versions. And then at the
Gotcha.
very end, at least the way it appeared to you, was this nobleman. So
Gotcha.
with
My bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And yes, so now you have this previously haunted birdcage that is a very expensive, like it is solid gold with the little feathers. Like it's beautifully carved. Like it is. Treasure hunters, this is treasure, like of another level. Like this is royal, like gift from one king to another level treasure. And you also have the Palantir, which is totally fine.
which is like a level above that. So we're doing pretty well on
Or
the
it's what you
treasure
give
hunt.
to your enemies. Those are the options with the Palantir.
Sure, but I mean, in terms of rarity,
Sure.
Oh yes, in terms of rarity, it is.
Pretty successful treasure hunting.
right?
You were hunting treasure.
There is a lot of dangerous treasure out there,
Yes.
and this is just one of those things.
And Runa's going to touch all of it.
Yep.
Is it previously haunted or allegedly previously haunted?
Oh, it was definitely haunted when we found it.
Well, no, because you mentioned the previously haunted birdcage.
Oh well.
Oh yeah, because we took care of the ghost.
Yeah.
Okay,
situation.
all right.
I mean, yeah.
We
Pretty
think.
sure you took care of the
No.
ghost.
I mean,
Okay, just bringing that out
Yeah.
there.
Possibly mildly cursed
But
birdcage.
yeah. Okay, there we go.
Mildly, not so mildly.
at least it stopped making things cold and dark and scary.
That's true.
Yes.
So it seems better.
It does. And it still works. Like
Yes.
if you wind it
Oh,
up,
it
it
makes
still plays
Bird song.
Yeah, the bird song.
Collecting cursed items.
Definitely.
Hands on.
All right. So
Every adventure is just the two of us running in. Like,
yeah. So let's start by catching up what happened with Sausage. So Sausage, you while everyone was having their time in Creek's Crossing, you received a letter because you just passed through the Shire, and you received another letter from the Shire. So while I know you missed last session for real world issues, let's create some awesome ties for why Sausage maybe got a letter from the Shire. And where did you end up? Where would you like to go and explore?
So I think there are a few things that would pull Sausage away from the Fellowship, considering the times. But when I get the letter, I open it, and the only words on it are, "Dear Sausage, we are paying tribute to Sheriff Gilroy Clovercheek." And that's all I need to know, because the only time you ever pay tribute to a sheriff, and I'm kind of making this up again, I don't know if there's lore around sheriffs, but the only time you ever pay tribute to a sheriff is when they die. And so I am a former sheriff, but this summons still pulls weight with me, because I know that they're not just going to call me out for anything related to that.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I need Gilroy. What was the name?
Gilroy Clovercheek.
Clovercheek. I love that. So cute. You are amazing at
And so
Shire names.
Hobbit names.
Yeah.
you know what,
So good.
I'm practicing. You got to get the practice in.
So you were summoned to basically to a funeral.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And what I find when I get there is that indeed one of the East Farthing sheriffs has fallen. There was some sort of wild beast that claimed his life.
Oh.
And it was bad enough that it was like one of those closed casket funeral situations.
Okay.
And that kind of just sets off a lot of red flags in my head, because that doesn't, usually we can scare the animals off. They're not so wild or feral that we can't deal with them. But kind of seeing how the darkness in the world is spreading and expanding, I'm beginning to worry.
Yeah,
I'm beginning to
absolutely.
worry that again something's coming to the Shire too. But
Yeah.
The Shire isn't exempt from this one.
Yeah. So sad that you missed the ghost. That would be so creepy and awesome. That's okay. I like this tie-in. I'm gonna say that there's some mystery around this beast that killed the sheriff, Gilroy Clovercheek. But they were a fine warrior, especially in Hobbit terms. As a Hobbit, they were one of the best warriors you know of, the best fighters. So the fact that something had a very sound victory and did that much damage to him is something definitely to be concerned with.
Yeah.
And that is not something that would normally happen from any of the beasts of the Shire.
Mm-hmm.
There are big wolves and there's scary things in the Shire, but for the most part, the hobbits know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
And especially someone as trained and knowledgeable of the dangers of the Shire as Gilroy. So I'm going to say there's a lot of different rumors about what it was. So some say it was a man passing, dressed in furs like a beast. Some say it was a ghost of a beast that had been killed ages past that was coming back. So there's just wild rumors flying throughout the Shire of what this was.
Yeah.
Hobbits have very good imaginations despite not liking adventure.
Yeah.
And they love passing rumors about, and they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's a little hard for you to kind of deduce what is actual fact about this. So what would you like to do?
At this point, I'm really kind of just catching up with everyone at the Shire. I'm asking around, wondering what this was. I don't think anyone would have seen, I think if it were something big and something that people would know, there would be no escaping whatever it was, whatever that thing was. So I think it kind of makes sense that, Gilroy was probably found in the state that they're in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to continue to, the sheriffs are all there. We're paying tribute. I'm going to talk to every single one of them, including the wall. And, whatever kind of guff the wall has with me, I don't care.
Loremaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm going to, just kind of convene everybody And then there's the matter of electing the new sheriff.
Mhm.
So I'll probably stay and just hang out until that resolves itself.
Okay. We'll say like it's been some time because you went traveling a little bit to find the wraith, and then you've had to come back. Assuming, were you guys coming back to Creek's Crossing?
Yeah, I mean,
Probably wise to regroup before we go out looking for something else.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, it seems like even if you want to do something about the birdcage or something like that, it feels like you do a day or two journey just to Creek's Crossing to then like go out from there. But I'm also fine with you if you don't want to.
I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah,
I
I also
mean-
think that Aerlind like wants to touch some familiar grass.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's fair.
What? You're feeling stressed out?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, think about your visions for a second, because I do want to kind of revisit those in just a minute of what you saw when you touched the Palantir. Oh yeah, a little bit of like language knowledge. E at the end of a word, it makes it plural.
Plural.
So Palantir is the individual. If you're talking about
Yeah.
all of them together, it's the Palantir. So FYI, when I'm switching that up, that's why I'm switching it up.
Like the star and the starry, right?
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Correct.
Very good. Look at you. When we sat down the first day, you're like, I saw the movies once. I love it.
I do my research when I can.
I know, it's amazing. So just kind of think back on that because we're going to circle back for those. You get all the sheriffs together, which isn't super hard because there's actually a little bit of a tradition with that. After, one of the sheriffs falls, like there's like the funeral, and generally all the sheriffs go to a specific, like a pub
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
whatever's nearby, to kind of spend time together, to kind of touch base. Because really in the Shire, it's mostly like farmers and crafters and, poets, things like that. Like not so many poets, but in their spare time. But there's not a lot of hobbits who really know like what it's like to have to fight things.
Mhm.
And so you even though you don't all necessarily get along with each other, there's a little bit of a comrade in arms situation happening where you all at least know what the rest of you go through.
Yeah.
So you're at this pub and you've talked with a lot of them. And let's do a conversation with like one of them.
Okay.
Do you want to do Wilhelmus the Wall, or do you want to pick someone else?
No, let's do the wall.
All right.
Let's do the wall. Yeah, we're at the pub. I've gotten a drink. I'm going to get another one, sort of as a preemptive olive branch or preemptive peace offering to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll walk up and I'll say, Wilhelmus.
Yes, sausage. It is good to see you. He's
Yeah.
in his cups.
Okay. All things considered, indeed. Always a pleasure to see the other sheriffs. And I put the extra cup down. I push it towards him and I say, for you on this somber occasion.
That's very kind of you. Yes, Gilroy was a good hobbit. I wasn't close to lots of hobbits, but Gilroy, you could trust to have your back.
Yeah. Truer words were never said. I think everybody was Gilroy's friend.
Yeah, that was a talent that I didn't ever able to do. Like, I mean, like, I am well known and renowned and a good fighter, but having people like you and having everybody like you, it takes some doing.
Yeah. I'm wondering now, he was one of the best of us.
Yeah.
You're certainly one of the toughest of us.
Yeah.
You know what it was that did him in?
His face gets kind of dark at that. No, I've been out and I've gone looking and I haven't found anything.
Mm.
And everyone's saying different things, but the thing none of us sheriffs can figure out is if there was something big he was going after that was able to do that to him, why did he go alone? None of us can figure that out because Gilroy was a lot of things and he was very capable, but he wasn't a fool.
No, he was no fool.
he would know, and he would have taken backup. He wouldn't let pride get in the way. And there's like a glint of like, oh, maybe it's a lesson I should learn. And then he like pushes it away and takes credit. Like you can just see it cross his eyes for a moment and like,
Yeah.
no, that's silly. No.
Huh.
So close.
Well, that is true. Unless this was something he did not want anyone else to face.
Yeah, maybe. But then why would he try and take it on alone and make it more likely that it would, get to the rest of us?
These are all mysteries that we might not solve. Or rather, hopefully we'll solve in a better fashion than he did.
Here's to that.
I raise my glass and clink it.
Yeah.
I turn to the wall. I look him square in the eye, and I've not exchanged very many words, except maybe to ask about his mom, on occasion. But I look at him and I say,
You are one of the biggest, and one of the strongest, and one of the most skilled with a blade of us hobbits. But do not take the same chances. I don't want to see anyone's life end that way again, if it can be helped.
Yeah, we should caution everyone now. Especially in the area he was. Just maybe make sure hobbits don't go alone in that area. Even the sheriffs.
Yeah.
And I know you probably have to be on your way, but I'll make sure to get the sheriffs organized so we can do some searches together of where we found him. Try and see what we can find.
I give him a pat on the shoulder, like appreciatively, and I say,
I'll be here in Michael Delving at least until the new sheriff is elected.
Well, he had an apprentice, so I don't expect it will take too long. He's fairly young, but he's a capable kid. So I think he's gonna probably just take that, at least for now. We'll still do the election, of course, but I don't expect there to be some other candidate who steps up for it, especially after kind of like, Gilroy.
can I add a little something?
Sure.
So I'm intrigued, right?
Mhm.
I ask the wall like who this kid is, and it's my nephew.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Bastion Brandy-bottom.
Okay.
I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
Like, I my face turns kind of blanch white, and I say, well, actually, I don't say anything, but I think like I'm not gonna stop Bastion from doing what he thinks is right. But what a day and age to be kind of, to get inducted into being a sheriff.
Yep. That's awesome. That's very good. Yeah. So Bastion's not here since he's not actually a sheriff yet. It's kind of like, it's not a private party, but other people kind of cleared out. You guys.
Yeah.
So yeah. Over the next day or two, we have a little bit of a montage of, like people, doing searches in like 3s and 4s, even with the sheriffs. We get some fresh face shots of Bastion, like trying to like, wearing the sheriff thing, like in his house, like trying to see, it's like a little big on him, like his like mom taking it in a little, like the election and things like that, and Bastion winning.
Yeah.
So he becomes the new sheriff. I'm sorry, which section of the Shire did you say?
East Farthing.
East Farthing.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, so that's, and then you like, how would you react? Like if he's like there, he's got his shiny new, like polished little sheriff star on.
I am just proud without a doubt. I'm really afraid at this point. And I am going to, I'm going to when I have a moment to take Bastion aside, and I'm going to say,
I always knew you'd make something of yourself in this world. It's not easy work, I'll tell you that. But when you do something right, it is an incredible feeling. And when you see the looks of those, and those faces that you are working for and you are protecting, there is nothing that beats that. But there is darkness in this world, my dear boy. And I just want you to take care of yourself. And don't take any chances I wouldn't take. You promise me that, please.
Of course, Uncle Burl. And I know how important this is, and I know what can happen. I spent my whole life watching you help people and seeing the looks on people's face after you help them. I know this is important, and I know I probably won't be great at it to start, but I know that if I just do like you did, I can be a great sheriff and really help people.
would it be all right if I gave Bastion my blessed leather shirt?
Sure, absolutely.
I kind of traced my hands on the leaves where the spirit touched my armor in the dream, and I'm going to doff it, and I'm going to say,
This piece of armor, right? It saved my life. It has taken many blows, and it was on me when I slayed the darkest thing I've ever slain.
Oh,
And I hope it protects you too.
golly, thank you so much, Uncle Burl. That's amazing.
and I say,
I'm gonna be heading out in the morning. You best be in one piece and unscathed the next time I come back to the Shire.
I'll do my best, and I'm sure with what I learned from you and with this amazing armor, I will be just fine. Yeah. Then we get the him putting it on. And
yeah.
that was very good.
Yeah. And I'm gonna, like, the morning when I walk away, I've got tears in my eyes.
Okay.
And I'm more afraid leaving the Shire than I've ever been.
Absolutely. And we'll just say that you replaced that piece of armor with, obviously not a blessed, but
Yeah.
an equally same weight, same stats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's no longer blessed ghost armor. That was amazing. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
All right. So we're gonna say, are you going to meet your friends? Was that where you go?
I'm going to go back to Creek's Crossing in the hopes that, that we will reunite ourselves sooner than later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll jump ahead to the three of you are in Creek's Crossing. Sausage, you were en route. And I want to know how at peace you are with what you saw and how it's kind of manifesting in your daily lives at Creek's Crossing. It's only been a day or two. We're not going to have weeks pass. We're going to have probably a day or two until Sausage makes it up there because it's kind of a quick little jaunt up and familiar roads. So does anyone have an idea of how they're reacting to the idea of this thing you have? What they saw in their vision?
I think Hannar has become like the super inquisitive student and keeps coming around and asking Aerlind all these questions about things he saw. Like, what does this mean? Why were those elves so big? Like, I've never seen an elf so big. That was like a horse. What does this mean? So it's just, it's that kid that sits in the front of class because they think they know a lot of stuff, but they really don't know anything about it. They just saw the Cliff Notes version on YouTube. So without subtitles. So he's like, What is that? There were a lot of... They made these things, and then they sent them places. It's... Yeah. Probably... I don't know how patient Aerlind is, but...
Extremely.
Okay.
Right now.
Like... These,
This is actually going to help distract him
Ah.
from the thing that he is trying
Okay.
to
That makes
avoid.
perfect
So
sense.
this is excellent. He tells you any answer that he can possibly give. I would say through that you probably learn that he is descended from elves that aren't even part of the elves that you saw.
oh.
The elves of the Sindar, which is essentially where his lineage comes from, have been in Middle-earth for so long, just an insane amount of time. They've been anchored in that region in Middle-earth since before the sun.
Okay.
Yeah. But he does know of the Noldor, and he tells of, the great craftspeople and the blessed from Valinor that came, and what you saw was probably some of the most ancient and noble of elves, and some of which are still in Middle-earth.
Well, they're still around.
Yes. Actually, I've met some of them.
Oh.
Yes.
Were they still so large?
Well, they are taller and I would say a bit of a more noble profile than myself.
Oh. Like, you'd probably see Hannar, like, look at your knees and then, like, eyeball it, like, okay, that's uncomfortably tall.
And yeah, he will tell you anything and everything there is to know about the voyage of the elves from Valinor that you saw, and probably mentions that they crafted other great stones that were of interest to your people that have been lost or destroyed or thrown into the sea like other stones were.
One of those words you'd probably hear would be Silmaril.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so basically what you'd find out, and this is like the Cliff Notes version
Of the Cliff
of
Notes.
Middle-earth.
Sure.
So the elves were woken in Middle-earth. They were called by the Valar, the gods, hey, come to our beautiful island. It's paradise, it's perfect. Some of them went, and some of them did not. The ones that chose not to go stayed and have been in Middle-earth for a long time, eventually leading to Aerlind and their people. Those who went to Valinor stayed there for a really long time, eventually committed a bunch of atrocities,
Killed each other.
killed each other,
Don't do it.
rebelled against the gods, and came back to Middle-earth because of their pride, basically. They wanted to make great kingdoms, and they thought themselves excellent, and they also wanted to kill Morgoth and a bunch of things. So they came back. They were banned from Valinor. They were like never allowed to return, which is why some of the elves being allowed to return now is a big deal. There are Noldor specifically. They are the ones who crafted the Palantiri. They also crafted, well, one of them, who was a problem.
He's work.
Here's a big piece of work. Created. There were these two beautiful trees in Valinor. They worked as the sun and the moon. They were the most beautiful things ever. They were poisoned and destroyed, but their light was captured into a number of stones called the Silmarils, which were like the most perfect, shining, beautiful gems, which basically destroyed all of history because people kill each other all the time for them. And which is why it's called the Silmarillion, because they caused so much problem. They named a book after them. So like these Palantir are completely like wound up in that great history. So the Noldor are the ones who came back. Those of you who've seen the movies, Galadriel is one of the Noldor. So
High-born Noldor.
yeah, she's way older than the sun and the moon. She came from Valinor in that original thing. She took part in that rebellion, which is why those of us who got annoyed at Rings of Power when she's just like, oh sure, I can go back to Valinor. I'm going to do it on a boat. It's like, no. You're specifically on the banned list. Like it says,
The bouncer says no.
Like the Valar are like, no, Galadriel, your names are here as on the no list. You no fly list. But
People try and fly all the time,
I
even
know.
though there's no fly list. So
well, I feel like the gods would probably be a little bit better than a computer
it's
program.
been a long time. Maybe
Maybe
they've
they'll
been
recognize
distracted.
her. Oh wait, she's ageless and looks the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
But that is a name that he would definitely bring up. He knows who Galadriel is.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody knows.
Yeah, everyone knows who Galadriel is.
Yeah.
So-
So there's
okay.
not a whole bunch of them left. A lot of them have been killed off because they fight a lot.
Fought in war.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
wars.
A lot of wars over the Silmarils.
Bad things.
Yeah, bad things. And then that's why if you watch Lord of the Rings, in one part when she's like, "Oh, when she,
I've diminished.
I've diminished. I will go into the West." When she turns down the ring from Frodo, that's like her final passing of a test, showing that she's gotten over her pride, and that's kind of when the Valar forgive her and are going to allow her to return to Valinor someday.
Also, she's like fostered saplings of the tree and done a bunch
there's
of
a
other
bunch-
really big stuff.
She's done a lot of good things to
Yeah.
make up for her mistakes. But so that the Palantir are all tied in with that. So there's a lot of drama, but you get a lot of that information.
So I think like throughout the day, like I just walk by and I ask a bunch of questions and then I wander off a while and then I come back and I ask more questions. And in the in between times, I'm like starting like the book of elf knowledge.
Okay.
Because like it's fascinating and what is this thing and all of that. So like now that's sort of like his hobby is figuring out what the elves are doing and what are these other elves doing that can't go and what is all of that. It's
Yeah.
just like where are they? What are they doing around here? Like are they living around here? Like should I be on the lookout for giant elves that hide in the trees and who knows
Okay.
what kind of mischief they're up to. But yeah, that's definitely his focus.
Okay. And some of the stuff from the stories are things that you probably, if you think about back to the Tower in Annuminus, some of the things that were tied in with like what you really saw and what are in different directions. You're like, oh, hey, the island with the trees, that
Sure,
things like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you probably start making some connections with other things you've seen as well.
For sure.
Okay. So you have a new hobby that you're obsessed with.
Yeah.
Which is elf history. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Hannar. Get it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Runa or Aerlind?
I think.
Okay.
I don't know if I tell Aerlind this, but I think secretly now he's like, I have to take this stone to Galadriel and see what she has to say about it.
Okay.
Because she's supposed to be a big one of these. All right.
But I think he does not tell you that he does know someone who has a Palantir.
Okay.
Spoilers. There's one really close by.
Yeah.
What happens if you get them together? Do they do things? Like, who knows?
Feedback loop.
Just aim them at each other and then just.
I think this is an extremely welcome distraction for Aerlind, who, for the most part, is sitting in like the quietest, most serene academic meditation, essentially, he's ever been in. Basically, he just sits in his quiet little desk area that he's made for himself. And the thing that he does that I think is the most peculiar that he normally does is he, every night, the like 2 nights that are between the ghost fight and now, has gone and sat under the stars and specifically looked west and is having a like whole thought about what he saw, because now it isn't just that the West is calling so many people and this is his home and he thinks it's all of their home and why would you leave? But also now it's like, what if I, especially telling Hannar all of this, what if I am also rejected for my pride? That why would I know better when I look into the Silmaril than Lord Círdan? Why would I be the one to see what he doesn't see because he is so much older and wiser than anyone I've ever met? So why would I second guess that? And I think that through sitting there and thinking all of this, he does come to a very fascinating conclusion about himself, which for someone so old probably should have dawned on him a little bit sooner. But that he has never felt the call. Not once. And he has seen so many people and talked. I mean, we've talked to people And even those who aren't ready to go yet have spoken of, oh, I can see that it's becoming our time and all of that stuff. And he's politely engaged and be like, oh yeah, absolutely. This is also a thing that I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, and he believes in so many of the other things that all the other elves say and do and talk about and their history and all of the power that is within them. He's never felt called once.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a very lonely moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he starts to wonder if being born so late means that his light is actually not the same as the others.
Oh. Yeah. The part of his vision where he like got a glimpse of Valinor and then was like pushed back and rejected. Does that bother him, or is that a comfort because he doesn't feel the call to go?
I think before it would have been comforting, and in the moment I think it was a little comforting, but the moment that he got away from it, this chip that's been on his shoulder for being so young and kind of not being one of the highborn elves that he's been surrounded by his whole life, kind of has become, I think it festered as resentment before all of this. And he's realizing, oh, that's a problem that I actually have. And I think it's the first time he's actually seeing it laid plain in a way that he understands. That in the moment it was nice to feel right. But then he went, why is that nice?
Yeah.
And he's just very young for an elf in reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's something that he's never had to face because he was surrounded by people who were already adults when he was a child.
Yeah.
And now he's, 1,000+ years old.
Yeah.
Still hasn't dealt with it.
You're right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a whole lot of therapy needed.
Yep.
Okay.
And the therapist for the elves is the stars.
Yes.
So we're having some quality star time.
All right. Runa.
Yes. I think, while Hannar's been asking his questions and Aerlind has been stargazing, she's taken to, like, climbing to the top of our ruins to sit by herself and, like, conspiracy theory board herself, like, all of the things she can remember about where the Palantiri are from what she saw, because her shadow is dragon sickness. And I think that's manifesting less in greed for, like, I want to amass wealth, and more in some treasures are dangerous and I need to collect them to protect people from them.
Very healthy reaction
Yeah.
to shadow.
Because the cursed birdcage just reinforced that, like, oh, another dangerous treasure. Give me that.
Excellent. I
Yeah.
love that.
So
So we have Hannar madly scribbling all the information about the elves that he can get his hands on. We have Aerlind, who's processing a lot of existential conflict and like childhood issues while looking at the stars and like info dumping with Hannar. And Runa, who's like, we've like the equivalent of like Lord of the Rings, like string map on the wall of
Exactly.
like where all the Palantiri are.
like, okay, I know where I need to go,
Yeah.
where all the treasures are.
Can we say you said it's like in a notebook?
Yeah, she
Okay.
has like a notebook.
Okay, so it's like, but it's like very like a little bit unhinged scribbling.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you spread all the papers around like a room, it would look like a crazy person
Okay.
had done it.
I think it's hilarious that both of you turn to writing, and I'm the one that's not writing this
Not
time.
writing at all. Yeah. All right.
If we were paying attention, that's how we would know something was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so in this is the vibe of like it's been, we'll say like 72 hours since you got back from your jaunt with the ghost. You still have who has the Palantir and who has the golden cage.
I think if nobody objects, Runa would take the golden cage.
Have it.
No, and I don't think I let go of the. No.
I also stay away from the Palantir, like fully, like.
Well, I don't like brandish it at you.
No, I
It's
know,
just
but I
like-
think that he's aware of where you've put it, and just doesn't go there.
That's fair.
I think Runa checks to make sure it's still there. Like, okay, it's still there. Like periodically throughout the day, but doesn't touch it.
Yeah, like if we leave to go into town,
Yeah.
I definitely take it with us.
Absolutely.
Like it's not just, oh, okay, we'll just leave it in our base. It'll be fine. I'm sure nothing bad could come.
Sausage waltzes in.
What is this?
Also, Aerlind is continuing to be otherwise extremely normal. Just the most normal.
Almost normal. Aggressively normal.
Yeah, like almost overly polite, like calling you Lord Dwarf, which he's kind
Oh.
of stopped doing.
That's yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right. I think I think the best way I can describe like Hannar's writings is it's like the phenomenon with artists. They call it unbottling, like where somebody has had thoughts about being an artist for years and years and years, never had the opportunity, never had the training or whatever, and then when they finally dive into it, they just produce a lot
Yeah.
of stuff all at once. Like I think it's that kind of thing.
Okay. Awesome.
Like where he's just like, I have all these memories in my head of seeing things and I need to put it down so it's organized in a way like it's not organized because the vision got all
Yeah.
jumbled in his head, but it's just I need to make this a thing, you know.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Well, and you have memories from the stone that are like priceless knowledge of history that even some of the oldest elves may not have. So some of the things that you're writing down, are you like super interested in some of that? Or are you like,
If I know that he's writing it,
okay.
absolutely.
Is this something you've shared or is it private?
No, I mean it's probably fairly obvious.
Okay.
Like I mean, I don't write Elvish script, so you'd have to if you read Dwarf.
Nope.
Sorry.
It's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, like I wrote down all these things I saw.
Oh.
But especially like once you told the story about the trees and then that I saw the trees, so there's like a sketch, like a crude sketch
Oh.
in there and that kind of thing, and like, oh, okay, those were important, and then they turned into gemstones. I get that.
The trees definitely elicit a reaction, like a full crying reaction.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, I feel really bad. Like if you come over and you see me and I'm just finishing up the sketch or whatever, and you have like a big emotional reaction, Hannar would be like, I'm so sorry. Like, oh,
No. That's incredible.
Okay. I thought it was like when you touched the thing again. I didn't.
No. My people have dreamt of the trees long after they've faded.
Oh.
They're sacred. As near to touching the highest power that exists that we have. And just the sapling alone is still something to behold.
I'd probably like pull the page out of the book and hand it to you. Like, I'm afraid I'm not very talented at drawing, but that's the best that I can remember.
Aww.
It's incredible. I'm very grateful, Hannar.
Absolutely. And I'll try and think of other things I saw.
All right. Like, fully tucks the page against his chest.
That's amazing. Just a neat little moment. Okay. That's very good. And I just as like on a nerd level, I love Dave learning this as Hannar's learning this with you, and it's beautiful. I love everything about it. So yeah, we'll say this is kind of the environment. On your way up, like the day before you make Creek's Crossing, you're riding along the road, and you hear a very familiar voice. What exactly, Dave? Sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay. What exactly did you ask Leorin in your letter? You said that there was you just said that you'd had this big like stone thing. And did you describe it or?
I don't think I specifically described it, but it was like I brought home this thing from defeating the monster, and I don't know really what it is, and I have some information. because I wrote to him before I went home.
Yeah. And he's the one who suggested that you
Right,
go
right.
meet the dwarf.
So yeah, at that point I didn't even know
Okay.
any of that.
Yeah,
So
you were
it was
like, it's greenish, it kind of
it
glows.
has a little bit of a glow.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's probably all I said.
Great. Okay. And you haven't been in touch since?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, we immediately, like, I came back and then we immediately went
Yeah.
off to find the ghost.
Yeah. All right. So you're riding along the road, Sausage, and you hear like this kind of gruff humming, and then you hear a very familiar, very loud barking sound. And Ranyar, who's almost as big as your pony, comes bounding up next to you, like barking happily because they recognize you, and wagging their very large tail. Your pony probably does like the skit thing where it's like, and it's like, oh, I know that dog. And they're kind of like, their ears are back a little bit, but they like chill out and they're walking. So, well, hello,
Hello there.
Sausage.
I dismount and I give Ranyar, like a hearty pet, and then I run over and I clasp arms with Laren, and I say,
hello there, friend. Are you coming or are you going?
A little bit of both, but I will join you in your direction. You are heading up to Creek's Crossing.
I am.
Excellent.
I had some business to take care of in the Shire, but I'm hoping to join, the rest of the band on Creek's Crossing. I left in hurried circumstances, and so.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I heard. I heard the unfortunate news. My deepest sympathies in the loss of your friend.
Oh, thank you, Laren. I certainly appreciate that.
and as I take, Cheese's reins and start leading my pony down the road, kind of, one hand on the reins, one hand kind of continuing to pet Ranyar. Actually, probably be up here,
Yeah.
right? I exchanged some pleasantries, we haven't spoken to Liren since we left for Anuinas, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So I start filling our patron in on that, and kind of just talking about all of the exploits that we'd done.
It flips back and forth between like what you think might be feigned surprise, like, oh really, that's amazing, and also like genuine surprise, like, oh, a giant fish monster, okay, like interesting, kind of like back and forth. It's hard to tell how surprised he is or not. Who knows?
No, I'll take it. I think Sausage kind of like has never lost sort of that enthusiasm talking to Laren. So like every bit of surprise, I take it seriously. Like, whereas other people might read it as a cue and be like, okay, maybe he doesn't necessarily want to hear about this. I just kind of like take it all in sincerity.
Okay, very good.
And I'm like, yeah. I couldn't believe it either. This thing was horrifying. Tall as a hobbit hole. And when it actually gets to the point of the fish, I say, I turn a little somber. I say, Laren, now I know you've been coming and going. You've been traveling the lands a lot. Have you seen anything strange? To be frank, the sheriff that was taken down was not taken down by common means. Sorry, no worries. There's funny sound of the traveling band of minstrels kind of like
walking in the other direction.
And I say,
these are strange times, and these are dark tidings. What we found out in the lake, and what with this coming from the Shire. I hope that you will be upfront with me when I ask if you know of anything that anything more troubling than the passing rumor or the odd ghost story.
He kind of takes a breath for a moment. He looks at you like with a strange mix of a little bit of pity
Mm.
and a little bit of concern and a little bit of like genuine concern. It's like one of those things like almost like when a child asks a hard question and you need to give them some information, but you don't want to give them so much that it will scare them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Sausage would recognize that look, but that's kind of the best description of it. He kind of looks at you and he stops, and Rhaenyra stops and kind of looks up at him, and he puts his hand on your shoulder. I'm assuming you're like walking next to each other as you're talking. And puts his hand on your shoulder. Burl, I wish that I could tell you that there is only one terror in the world. I wish I could tell you that the thing that took your friend is the only danger. I don't know what specifically it was. But as I think that you already know in your heart, there are many terrors in this lovely world of ours. And it takes those with a stout heart, my friend, like you, and like your young nephew, to face them and keep others from learning the truth of the darkness.
That stuns me a little bit. I mean, I keep walking,
Mhm.
but that does change my demeanor,
Mhm.
especially when he brings up, Bastion. And I just kind of take comfort in petting the doggy.
Yeah.
As we walk until I catch sight of the bridge, and I say, "Oh,
It's coming along nicely, ain't it?
Yes, I was hoping to take a look at it and see how far they've come. It's very exciting.
Yeah, indeed. Well, tell you what, I'm sure you've been on the road a while, and I certainly have. I could use a little bit of a sit down and a drink.
Absolutely.
Let's go see if we can find the band.
I suppose the bridge side would probably be a good place to start.
Oh, the best place to start, without a doubt.
Absolutely. I'm gonna say too, like I missed the beat for a moment, but like in your story when you were talking about Athura, who was the ghost, he gets a look of like sadness, but also like whimsy and familiarity.
like
I don't know if
bittersweet kind of
a little bit, but like probably like when like how you look after you think of like a family member or a very close friend who passed but like long ago, when like it's not quite as painful anymore. I don't know if Sausage would pick up on that, but he gets kind of that, oh, that sounds incredible. I'm sure she has a beautiful voice. And sort of that sort of like conversation as you walk.
Oh wow. I think I pick up that there's there is some fascination there, but I don't know exactly what. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then can we say that the three of you are in the tavern, or where would you be?
I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And
Meal time.
Yeah. And I can see you like with notebooks out or whatever you want to be doing. Like, I feel like, I mean, it's sort of like, the Irish tavern where everyone brings their thing and someone's having a music lesson in the corner and like people are reading and some people are talking and some people are singing. Yeah. So it's like people don't just come to have like a meal like we think of restaurants, or really how taverns were used. They were the public house. Everyone came there. It was easier to keep, the pub warm with everybody in it than it was for everybody to individually keep their houses warm. So that's the kind of the vibe in this place. People literally come from like, oh, it's getting dark. They go to the pub until it's time to sleep. So, okay, yeah. You were sitting at a table or multiple tables, or?
It would feel weird for us to be at different tables.
Yeah.
It would be weird. The only reason I would consider it is if I'm spreading out stuff and trying to draw.
Maybe we've had a couple tables pushed together.
I think that would make sense. Yeah.
Also,
So-
Aerlind is not taking up as much room as they normally do, so
Okay.
there's that.
Yeah,
That's
and Runa
fair.
is not letting anybody see her notebook with
Okay.
her weird scribbling.
Uh-huh.
She is not doing that in front of people.
You're
Okay.
hunching in the corner and hiding something.
No, like she did that back at the ruins and is like not writing anything in the. in
Now
the
you're just here to
tablet.
have
Everything's
dinner. and-
normal.
Yeah, it's like
Hanging
business
out.
as usual for
Yeah,
you here,
Everything's
right?
fine. Don't look in this notebook.
So yeah, you're sitting there enjoying your drinks of choice. The door opens, a little bit of cold breeze comes in, and there is Laren, Ranyar, and your friend Sausage.
Like big streak of charcoal across the side of Hannar's nose as he's been like erasing things with his thumb and then like, hey, sausage!
Yeah, I walk to everybody. Everybody gets a big hug.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
If you're like sitting on a chair, I kind of just come up beside you or behind you and I throw my arms around you. And I look at your drawings and I'm going, Hannar, you picked up a new hobby, have you?
I'm trying to get better.
Oh, this is
It's
wonderful
important
stuff.
to draw things.
Well, I can't draw either. So like I look at him and I'm like, oh, well, this is something wonderful to come back to. I'm surprised that, it seems like you've picked yourself up an apprentice or something, eh?
Actually, it's something that he's taken up all on his own.
I'm amused by that. And I go, Runa.
Sausage.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
Thanks. It's good to be back here, everyone. I say, what about you? Have you taken up to any scribblings or anything like that? Seems like it's the kind of thing to do nowadays.
That seems to be what Hannar's into these days.
It's always been the fashion.
That's true.
What's the name? Olga, right?
Olga.
Okay.
I give a whistle to Olga and I say, Olga, the next round's on me. Please, drinks and food for everyone. If they haven't gotten it yet, and if they do, eat again.
Oh, I've missed you, sausage.
Yeah, and then I invite Laren over. I go, look who's here! Look who's here!
Hello, friends. Hello.
Laren.
Good to see you. And he just stops, short. And you see, surprise. You've probably never seen Laren look surprised ever. And he's just staring at some of your drawings and writings. Aerlind's been telling you stories, it seems. Goodness.
Quite the opposite, actually.
That's true.
Oh. He looks confused for the first time ever, probably in the time you've known him.
That's not public house things to talk about. But if you're going to be around for a bit, I have something to talk about with you.
We all, I think, do. And much to catch you up on, friend.
Yeah, seems like it.
Indeed. Very well, yes. I can stay as long as needed.
But there was a ghost.
Oh.
And
Yes, you were telling me about...
I'm mid-drink and
Yeah.
it's a spit thing.
Yeah. Yes, Sausage was telling me about the one you met in Innuminous with the song.
Oh, yes, that one as well. She was lovely. This one was not.
Oh.
Much less friendly.
Oh.
Came out of a cursed birdcage.
Did you say birdcage?
Yes.
His second surprise ever than that.
The birdcage was a trap. Fortunately, we recognized it before touching it.
Right.
Not friendly ghost.
No.
But the first ghost that was friendly helped us defeat the second ghost that wasn't friendly.
That's
Oh.
true.
Athura, yes. She sounds very lovely.
As these details kind of start to trickle out, my head's kind of going from wait, what? Hold on.
So,
What did I miss?
so what became of this birdcage?
Oh, we have it.
Oh. He doesn't look surprised.
Second good thing.
Yeah.
You're going to need another drink.
Apparently, I don't feel like lapping this up off the table.
No. Olga?
Seems like there's a lot that I do need to catch up on. Should we finish our meal, or is it something of urgency that we should...
I don't think it won't keep through a meal.
All right.
It's waited quite a while. It can wait a little longer.
Quite a while. It's interesting to hear elves use that term. That means that it's...
Well, I gather it's been waiting a lot longer than Aerlind or the rest of us.
Oh,
I would say it's waited ages.
Olga, could you quickly bring our meals, please?
And I'm gonna like as you know stuff gets said, I'm gonna just make sure to look around and make sure nobody's eavesdropping
Okay.
inappropriately.
Leorin is insistent that you keep eating. Like in a little bit of that annoying way, like, oh, yes, really. Oh, what? Take it. You should try this. It's very
Don't let
good.
it get cold.
Yeah. Like that kind of nagging, like mother-in-law type thing where it's like, have you tried this? You should have this. Oh, are you still eating that? Okay. Like, so the meal goes very quickly. It feels like a little bit like you're being driven.
I feel like even if we wanted to go slower, it's not possible
It's
in
not
this situation.
Yeah. So yeah, you end up through the meal very quickly. So where shall we go?
To the ruins.
Perhaps back to the.
Indeed. Perhaps you could give me some more information a bit about this birdcage on the way. He seems very fixated on that.
Yes, you know the rumors of the ghost on the roads to the north.
Oh, yes.
That turned out to be very true
Oh.
and a lot more aggressive than initially Benedict at least said.
Interesting.
It was accosting travelers on the road, using the birdcage as a lure.
Oh,
There's a lot of luring going on.
It's true. 2 lures, both cursed.
Well,
Ish.
So we're gonna.
Never
Yeah.
really trusted fishermen.
So we get back to the ruins.
Yes.
You've been kind of talking about the fight with the ghost and that sort of thing. Would you mind if I saw this birdcage?
Oh, of course. And she'll go and get the birdcage and bring it.
Goodness. And he like gently picks it up. This is quite old indeed. You were right about the ages.
oh,
Yes, this is a piece of old treasure from times not long after the kingdom split into 3 kingdoms. You hand it back.
Oh.
You said it was a young nobleman who had it. Interesting.
Yes.
Well, I think you might have just found some of the treasure of King Arvendui. Yeah.
I'll make sure and add that to the archives when I log it in.
Yes, tragic tale, and he fled his kingdom at one point and was trapped with his treasure and many of his followers. Many of them ended up perishing, and he took some of the treasure with him, but much of it is said to be still left behind. Seems that one of his subjects who was not so lucky decided to take part of it and seek revenge.
The spirit just kept repeating, "It's too late."
Yes, it's unknown exactly what happened, but supposedly they took shelter in some old dwarven mines up in the Blue Mountains. And they became trapped there somehow. Some say it was a beast, some say cave-ins, some say they simply got lost in the mines.
That was one of the other rumors
yes.
we heard as well.
And that it was an old beast.
Oh,
It sounds like they're related.
Yes.
More darkness in the world.
But that is not the thing that I was speaking of, Leorin.
oh,
The thing I was alluding to, I think I will defer to Hannar to explain.
yes,
Well-
the item that you went to the dwarven
Exactly.
Stonesinger,
Yes,
yes.
yes. And like I'll reach in the bag
Uh-huh.
and pull it out.
That's lovely.
Yes. I took it to the stone singer, and he felt that there was a stone inside,
Oh,
but it was a stone that he had never met.
oh,
Uh,
that's odd.
Indeed, he was curious. I was curious. We decided the outer shell was pearl, but we decided to cut into it to see what was inside. And we found this stone, and like I'm slowly unlatching the.
The more
The
you
silver-
unlatch it, the more I'm actually stepping slowly out of the room.
And when we uncovered this, I touched it, and it filled my mind with, from what I gather, all of history.
Like the look of slowly dawning, like almost terror, like but doubting, like no, like
Right.
yeah.
So here it is. Be careful. Don't touch it. I came away unscathed, aside from a little bit of a headache, but it was more painful for Aerlind and Runa. And
Quickly glances, like as you're
Yeah.
doing your reveal.
Aerlind is in the doorway.
Yeah, like suddenly you see this moment of like kind of like Leorin's like, no, there's no way it could be, like you see on their face. And then like as you start to lift it, he suddenly realizes Aerlind has left the room. And that's when he's like, oh, like just as it, like the full reveal. And you see this like flash of horror and terror on Leorin's face. And then he grabs part of his cloak and he throws it over his own face.
Oh.
Put it away. Cover it.
oh,
Cover it.
I'll hinge it back shut and lock it back. I'm sorry. It didn't affect anyone across the room before.
No, it is not that. He like carefully pulls his like part of his cloak away and pulls his hood that covers his face up. He covers it like as much as he can possibly do. I did not even dream that you would run into such a thing. He just like completely flabbergasted. Like you can almost like feel the fear and like him wanting to run away from it. Like you've never seen him like this before. It seems like a completely different person. Aerlind, how could you allow this to happen? You of all should know what is. And you touched it. You all touched it?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I didn't touch it.
No, this was Sausage's first look as well.
I know. Do you have any idea what has been done?
The 7, but I saw faces both fair and foul.
More foul than fair. And they have the Palantir in their clutches. And they use them for such dark purpose that I dare not even speak what they do. And now they know where you are, and they know that you have it. Every time you open the pearl, whoever is looking knows where you are. You've opened it here. For those who know the history of this world, this is a very clear location. You may not be able to return. Where else have you opened it?
Well, where I cut it open, back home.
Oh, dear Hannar. Is that all?
As far as I'm aware.
Yes,
This is where you were when you touched it?
Yes.
Here, yes.
and I was back home when I did.
But they can just see.
It depends on who is using it. I do not know. Many of them have been turned to dark purpose. Some may look in and see you here in these ruins and know not of it, and not know where you are. But some of the cursed dark beings that use them to watch over this world may already be on their way. There are a few of these bright spires left. I assume you probably saw one on your travels in the lake.
We did.
We did.
Unfortunately, they are connected with the Palantir. They work as magnification links, if you were. Can't think of a better, more mystical word, sorry. But they helped connect the Palantir so that even those less trained in them can get clearer visions between them. It was a way to help those of the old kingdoms who may not have had the training those first Numenorians did, still use them to effect. And then, when it was discovered how many of the Palantir had been taken by Dark Ones, they were, many of them, destroyed or put, or damaged in a way that they no longer functioned. Fortunately, there are those who still function, and he looks up, like the giant crystal at the top of this.
Well, then the others that have them are also in danger.
Yeah, yes, but I know you think of Círdan. Círdan is in a stronghold. Place that, though the darkness knows its location, it has not yet built the strength to attack
It
or take.
wouldn't dare.
It will not dare right now, my friend. But as you've seen, the darkness is building in the world. And you see just like a glimpse of like the little dark, like little thing, like is now that you saw on the road when he was like, "There's many darknesses in the world." You see it like consuming him now. And there are those that would be recognized by both the fair and foul who look in these stones. I cannot tell you what to do with such a thing, for clearly there is some power that has brought it to your belonging. Whether it is for your benefit or demise, I do not know. But I dare not stay where it is.
Hmm.
And he looks like heartbroken, like
Friend, you have been kind and generous and mercurial, but I value your counsel higher than most, and if you say it is dangerous, I would keep your company sooner than desire to retain something that would harm any of us. You among us.
I appreciate that. It has been long since I have used one. Ages. But there are those who are more versed in how they work now and how to safely use them now. I would counsel you find wisdom with perhaps your master, Círdan. He is one that I utmost would trust. I dare not stay with you, for there are those dark forces who, if they caught a glimpse of me through the stone, could pose greater danger to you than I could provide safety.
Would it be wise to find another stronghold to keep it?
I would have preferred it stayed at the bottom of the sea. But that did not seem to be what fate had in store for it or you. I know not how it will change the weavings of this world, but it has the power to change everything. Be wary of where you open it. If it is covered, it is limited. If you touch it while it is covered, those on the other end can see what you see, and they get visions. Some are skilled enough to hear. Most are not. Did any of you hear anything when you saw your visions?
No.
Did I? Or was it just imagery?
It seemed mostly just imagery.
Okay.
I think, if I said it right.
Mm.
It was imagery
No.
only.
I would have believed you either way you said
Okay.
it right now.
I don't remember, I don't remember what I described at the time, but Aerlind,
Yes.
do you hear anything when you saw your vision?
I fear my vision was misleading. Or perhaps I didn't understand.
The Palantir. It is like a sword in the hands of someone trained and good. It can do wonderful things. In the hands of a villain or those with dark intent, it can commit atrocities. This is such a great burden, and I am sorry it has befallen you.
Better us than someone less capable. At least there are 4 of us to bear the burden together.
He doesn't quite smile all the way, but you see a little bit of the old layering come back of just like Runa saying better us than someone else. That just gives him a little bit of heart. Yes, Runa, perhaps this did come to you for a reason. I would caution you to secrecy. The more who know of this, the greater the danger. The dark visions both of you saw warned that someone on the other side recognized that you were using it and that it had been found. The Palantir itself does not give visions of darkness. It means that there are those who are using other stones of the group to their dark purpose. And when you look into them, they are seeing you, or you are seeing their dark machinations, which will hurt the bravest of souls. And there's just so much weight of personal experience in what he's saying. And while you may have suspected different things based on what your character knows, this is a whole nother level of oh,
Oh, okay.
So
It came to us so we could deliver it. That's got to be what it is if fate has chosen us or if fate has brought it into our hands. Aerlind, this fortress, this Círdan of which you speak, can we reach them?
Yes, it's my home. The towers that you've seen just past the Shire.
Wow, my eyes kind of widen at that. And I say,
Then maybe that's where we take this thing. If we can't get rid of it any other way, if we can't find a place for it elsewhere in this world, maybe the burden's been placed on us to at least find the people who can deal with it.
And I have written to Lord Círdan recently and asked for wisdom. So perhaps counsel is what we will get.
Perhaps. But if, Laren, you are right, and things are marching to claim this Palantir, we cannot stay here and endanger the lives of the people of Creek's Crossing.
No.
No. For the time being, at least, a moving target is hardest to hit.
And if we've kept one safe all this time, nothing I've seen should be bold enough to lay siege against one of the oldest elven citadels in the world.
It is true.
Is
There
it-
are.
Is it too risky to put two in the same place? Do they?
That is a wise concern, Hannar. For the temptation of two might be great enough for them to risk even attacking the greatest elven stronghold on the coast. There are but a few places that have the light and the protection to keep such things safe.
Hmm.
The Grey Havens, Imlandris, or Rivendell, perhaps Lorien, or
Oh, yes. I've been writing.
he seems very surprised. Laren's having a day. And he just stares, and you can get the idea, like, you see him scanning, and, like, he's reading your Dwarvish. So,
At this point, yeah.
yeah.
All bets are off.
Yeah. So these are the only places I would trust such a thing. I will caution you, beg pardon, but many of the younger races are often corrupted by such a thing. Especially the great histories of men have been tainted with them many times. Though there may be many who seem fair and strong and true, think long before you trust someone with this secret of any race. For the power that it provides and the whispers that can be given to someone from afar can corrupt even the brightest souls. I dare not stay here longer. I am sorry, friends.
As terrible as this thing is,
Mhm.
I can't say that I regret learning from it.
My dear Hannar. He kind of leans over and he touches you on the shoulder. You saw wonders.
Indeed.
He kind of smiles over at Aerlind sadly. That's many would die for a moment of what you saw. And few now remember it. And he kind of smiles to himself a little. If you do meet someone who has seen what you have seen, even parts of it, it will be a wonder to speak with them. And they will be delighted to hear and speak with someone else who's seen those wonders too. For the light of the trees and the light of Valinor is beyond description for those who have not seen it. I will leave Ranyar with you. You can use all the help you can get. Did you want to roll for something?
No,
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
moving my cards nervously.
It is the best that I can do for you at this moment, for my staying puts you in even greater danger. with that. I bid you adieu and good luck. If you have great need of me, I will do the best I can. Send Ranyar. You'll be able to find me. And he looks kind of sadly at each of you, and he turns and like very quickly stalks out. And Ranyar's like,
Aw.
and he kind of like sits and he looks a little nervous, like he does a little paw thing.
I give him some treats
Yeah.
immediately.
He seems to relax a little bit. He likes all of you and he likes staying with you, but he knows his master's worried and something's very, very wrong.
Aerlind, are you okay?
I had a hope that this was not as dire as I feared it was.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
You did no such thing. Not a one of you. Sorry for the surprise.
I'm glad I'm here now. Didn't want to miss anything more.
Perhaps it's best that you missed this misadventure.
I glance at each of you, and I mean, I don't necessarily express it, but I do feel like I missed a little something not being able to touch that stone. Like there's something kind of tying the three of you together, and that that wandering madness, that like feeling of like not belonging someplace starts to gnaw a little bit again. I say, I turn to you, Erlen, and I say,
Do you think it is a good idea? Hannar, you made a good point. You think it is a good idea to bring this to the other elves? Maybe, at the very least, for a council. Because we haven't had a council session.
Lord Círdan is the oldest and wisest of all of the elves that I have ever known. And
Oh, is he one of those other elves?
no, interestingly, he was cursed and blessed with incredible knowledge and is the guardian of these shores.
I see.
And I trust him above almost all else. And he has used one. That is what I was looking to see. And I believe that he would give us wise counsel.
At the very least, he may be able to direct us to a place to take it if he doesn't
Yes.
feel they're safe together.
Yes. And perhaps we find a way to warn him in advance.
Hmm.
If we send word, it could be intercepted.
Send it codedly.
I think that would be wise.
Perhaps another letter is in order.
Well, if anybody knows any kind of codes, you'd probably be the best person to do it.
Definitely not my forte.
I'll admit this whole affair has me a bit out of sorts.
Well, on the bright side, you get to go home for a little bit.
It isn't as bright for me as it is for you, but
Yeah. My last trip home wasn't so bright either.
yes. How are you?
I'm alive. Let's keep things that way for all of us, eh?
Yes. Sounds like we should pack.
Yes.
I just got here, so I don't.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I say,
So we are bound south, then.
I think that's wise. Should I take it somewhere other than right here next to Creek's Crossing and let it look around?
No. No.
Just to lead them somewhere else, if nothing else?
I think the wisdom is to leave it covered.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
From Laren, it sounds like the less it's able to see, the better.
Yes. For now. I'm off to go and draft something clever. I'll see you all in a bit.
when I have a
That'll go
moment with you, Hannar, I'm going to kind of just take you aside and I'm going to say,
I did not expect to arrive here with such dire circumstances. But if we are going to if this is as valuable as Leorin and Aerlind make it out to be, and we are to be cautious. I trust your judgment more than I trust any of those elves who I'd never met. And if you ever need me to help you take care of these things, one way or another, I'll be there.
Well, if this journey goes badly, and I'll reach in one of my pockets and I'll pull out like a small hammer, right? And I'll hand it over and I'll say, if I'm lost, if it looks like something evil, something dark is going to get a hold of this thing, open it, and I show you how to work the little clasps. Open it and just hit that thing as hard as you can. I'd rather see it destroyed than lead to further problems. At the very least, we don't want another giant fish monster. Or if it were to be swallowed by who knows what else, or found by who else whatever it may do to a simple fish in the sea, it could do to anything. Imagine if a wolf were to find it, or imagine what could come from anything. So I think the only course of action is if we don't look like we're going to be successful, and I'm not able, try and strike it down.
I take the hammer, I tuck it into my belt, keep it close, and I'll say,
You have my word.
And that's good enough for me.
and then I don't know. I guess we'll start like preparing meals for everybody again.
Yeah.
Fill our bellies before we head out.
Well, I think like no good journey starts at bedtime.
Yeah.
So
I think before we head out, I'm gonna set some traps up around the ruins in case somebody comes looking for that thing. At the very least, if the traps are tripped, we'll know someone was here. And at best, it'll maim them.
Yes.
Don't come in our house.
The most Runa thing ever. Worst, it'll trip the traps. At best, it will maim them. I want to teach her with it. At best, it will maim them.
Job done.
Yes. Very good.
Okay, so yeah, James V over in the chat said, "But Burl, we just ate." And I'm like, "Well, that was first dinner.
Yeah.
There's second dinner."
Absolutely.
we've had emotional trauma since dinner. We need to eat again.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. feel like it should have you roll things because this is a game with rolling things, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Not
Sure.
tonight. We've had just amazing. Just I love every moment of all of this. By the
I
way,
have written a letter, by the way.
Okay.
It's ready to go.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna have you roll hunting, Runa,
Okay.
to see how
Oh.
great a job of setting traps you do.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. This seems important. I think would anybody mind if I use a fellowship point?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So that gives me an extra die, right?
We are
Yeah, well, it
not.
gives you a hope, which you can then spend.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
we're-
basically, yeah.
We are not leaning on those fellowship
No.
points as
No.
much as we should be or could
Yeah.
be.
We definitely don't use them as much.
So basically, what it's doing is you are using a hope of yours, and then you use your fellowship point to
Restore
refresh.
that. Yeah, okay. Come on, dice, let's name some stuff.
Heyo.
Yeah!
You do
I
amazing.
said the magic words to the dice.
Yeah.
Let's name some.
You got a Gandalf rune.
I got a Gandalf rune and I crushed my my target number.
Okay, amazing. Any Tangwars?
No Tangwars.
Okay. You still succeed. You set up traps all around the ruins, the entrances, and also like the sneaky entrances that you think you only know about, but just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of traps do you set?
Let's see. I think we're pretty near the forest, yeah, so I could get
Mhm.
some wood to carve some
Yeah.
spikes and things. So, probably a spike pit or two, some like trip wires where like you trip it and the door full of spikes swings out like Indiana Jones style and like
nice.
you get stuck
Okay.
on it.
Okay, very good. You're able to do all those things amazingly.
It's full on. It's full on Lord of the Rings Ewok Village.
Yeah. I mean, this is the truth
Living
of
the
what
dream.
women want.
Yeah.
Spike traps.
Spike traps everywhere.
Leaning into the maiming part of it.
Absolutely.
The dice agreed.
Yeah.
They did. Absolutely. So you set all of this up. And yeah, are you just resting till the morning?
I wrote a letter and I'm going into town. I'm going to find someone to take it tonight.
Tonight. Okay, very good. Yeah, you can find someone, especially you have some money. So
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it's important elf business. All right, I will help.
Before you go, I'll sketch something else I saw
Mm-hmm.
and send it along
Wonderful.
like a.
Hmm.
How else would a dwarf have known what this looks like? Maybe if.
That's
You know.
literally what's in the letter too.
Oh,
It's
okay.
perfect. Yeah, it's
Amazing.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which thing?
Yeah, what do you draw?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe what the ship looked like that came here with it before it fell
Oh,
off.
yes,
Ah.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
that would
yes.
be amazing. Very good.
Speaking
Okay.
Kieran's language.
Yes. Nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you take this, you are able to send it off, and you're like, do not stop. You must ride through the night, get there as fast as you can, pay you extra, and yeah, they run off Middle Earth Pony Express style.
Yeah.
And super fast. Yeah. And then bedtime?
Yeah.
I definitely tell everyone where the traps are.
Okay,
Oh,
I
good.
appreciate
Good
it.
idea.
Please, thank you. Yes, because I will find them.
I was not going to be that of a jerk Loremaster. It's like, now everybody roll to not get caught in Runa's traps that she did a great job making.
But also the way that I roll on anything that involves violence in this
Yes.
game, it would be me in the trap.
Yeah, it would
Yeah, she gives you a map of where they all are.
Oh, good map. I speak map. This is good. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So I also think at this point, I think for Shadow we continue to do the tests.
Roll.
Okay.
So but the two of you have Shadow points. So it's Dread. So you're rolling against your Valor.
Cool.
Okay.
Roll
Target number.
your heart.
Yeah,
Heart
heart.
number. Ooh, okay.
And we roll what? One?
One.
Just one.
If you only have one valor, it's one.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then up your feet die. Obviously.
Yeah. Hey, no.
That's crooked. I'm gonna do it again.
bad.
That
I'm
was
keeping these
worse.
shadow points forever.
The dice is like, I wasn't crooked. What are you talking about?
I said what I said.
Yeah.
I rolled a 5 total.
Okay. I think it's really hard for you in this moment with this stone and with what's happened with Leorin to kind of try and cheer yourself up. I feel like you're trying to get past what you saw, and it just keeps kind of creeping back. And the idea that what you saw and like the reality of what caused this to you, I think is even more terrifying than what you thought it happened. So that knowledge in a way has almost made it worse. It hasn't given you more shadow, but it's like the weight of, oh, this wasn't just the stone hurting me with magic. It was something on the other side of this stone looking back at seeing me and causing pain through it. That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, we're doing so good.
So,
I think it's also not helping that like the advice of Leorin, like our trusted patron, is the opposite of what Runa wants to do.
yeah.
He's like, take this somewhere safe and get rid of it, and she's like, I want to collect them all
Yeah.
and make sure they're all in the same spot where I can see them.
And they can see you.
Well, if you collect them all, then they're not a problem
Then it's
anymore.
not a problem anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
I
a
mean,
funhouse mirror.
They're all saying the
Palantir.
same
Look at
thing.
each other in a
They're-
room.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
It's terrifying.
They're just like little
feedback loops,
intercoms.
like you mentioned. Of
Every room of your house has one. You're just like, hey, is dinner ready?
Runa, this thing has been at your house.
It has been at my house.
It wasn't.
We didn't
Pearl.
open
It
it.
wasn't
in the
open
house.
yet.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
putting that thought in Runa's mind as
Uh-huh.
she's dealing with this shadow and fear.
Yeah.
I don't know if that suddenly we'll say that like if you hadn't thought of it before, it suddenly kind of occurs to you as you're trying to sleep in the middle of this night
Okay.
with traps all around you.
I think it's funny. Aerlind should have more anxiety about taking it to his home, but the thing he's afraid of is going home. So it's one fear supersedes the other today.
Right. Yeah. And also like anyone maybe could deal with this, Kieran. Which,
Yeah.
that's a pretty safe bet. So yeah. Okay. Sleep through the night. I'm gonna have each of you roll.
Oh, Dave broke the rib.
Dave.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
So for those
That's
of
in my
you
brain. That's the way it
listening, like
works.
the chat's talking about
Oh.
how you could use the Palantiri for a security system, and Dave wrote, "Oh yeah, ring security."
Oh,
Hilarious. I
That was great.
executed.
That was really good.
immediately
That was-
remarkable.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm 100% going home and putting the One Ring script on all of my little cameras.
Yeah.
You can get
Yeah.
little like decals that go around
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's for sure happening.
Yeah.
Nice.
Every time I go to your house, I'll be like, "Hey, that's from my game."
It's terrifying.
Yeah, totally. All right. All right. Back. All right. I'm going to have, if you are actively, no, I'm just going to have you all roll awareness, unless you are taking watches. Is anyone taking a watch?
I think Aerlind incidentally just isn't sleeping.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. If you are actively like waiting for things to come, or if you were just not able to sleep, those are two different things.
I think sitting and listening is kind of the way that he passes the time anyways, because it is based in an anxiety of like,
Okay.
I can't sleep anyway, so I'm going to sit here and listen because we're worried about stuff coming here for the thing that we're leaving because of anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're worried about stuff coming here,
Yeah.
I feel like Runa would take a watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll say we split it up. Hannah, would you also join in the watch?
I mean, if somebody brings it up, sure, but it does not even occur to him.
Okay. Is this a conversation you have, or are you all just paranoid alone and like all taking watches on your own and staying awake or not staying awake?
I think Runa would just assume we're doing watches and be like, I'm gonna take first watch.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll
Well, if
kinda,
you
like,
bring it up-
fall in.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
bring it
Yeah.
up, then yes.
Okay. So I am going to have you all roll scan, please.
That's much better.
Awareness?
I don't know about that.
If you're actively scanning, then it is. Awareness is sort of like
Okay.
you happen to be walking through a place.
Anybody mind if I burn a fellowship point on this? I
No.
only have one pip.
We never do it. I say yes, and we're doing it
Okay.
for each other anyway.
Okay.
So let's go.
Oh, I got a Tangwar and a Gandalf rune.
Oh,
My hands are back.
what did you get?
Oh wow, my gosh.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Extraordinary
Gandalf
success.
double Tengwar.
Oh,
You're fine.
Nothing sneaks past Hannar.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
just like,
I was one off from getting the same thing. I got a 6 and a 5.
yeah.
I've
What do you-
succeeded,
what
I
do
think,
you-
on my first roll in a session and a half. So,
Oh, excellent.
oh no, I
that
succeeded
was-
at one roll last session.
no, that's a nope for me. I missed it by 2.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of successes. Okay. So each one of you have a strange thing happen during your watch, except for Sausage, because you don't notice anything.
Okay.
It's totally fine. Nothing bad will happen. I want a t-shirt that says that too. It's fine. Nothing bad will happen.
Yes.
Just wear it all the time. So Runa, you take first watch?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to just go around the table, or is there a certain? You usually take morning, like early
Yeah, I
morning,
usually
right?
take early morning.
Okay.
well, any,
Okay,
which
doesn't
whatever's
matter.
fine,
Okay.
yeah.
So, Runa, during first watch, like the sun goes down and, you know, you're all eating dinner and stuff like that. Then you take your watch and, you just can't like get out of your head, like home.
Hmm.
It's like almost an intrusive thought. Like it's like when you do start actually thinking about other things, it like pushes its way back in. And you're just starting to my favorite thing is when I start describing things and Kai just looks terrified, just like, oh no. And it's just like it will not stop. And then you kind of you feel like you're hearing things on like the edge of the forest. Because the ruins are like surrounded by the 2 rivers basically, but on both, like across the river there's pretty much forest all around you.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of sometimes see, depending on how clear night it is, the smoke and the lights from Creek's Crossing a little bit off in the distance. But for the most part, it's just like foresty sounds. And you notice like there's these strange like crunching sounds. Like if you were like out in the forest and like a branch falls.
Hmm.
So it doesn't sound like, it's not like footsteps or anything. It's just like crash. Sounds like a natural thing. And then crash, like in another direction. Sort of similar, but kind of weird that it's happening that regularly.
Don't love that.
Yeah, don't love it. And then you suddenly realize that you don't hear any birds or animals.
That's not good.
Mm-mm.
And it stays that way your entire watch. You just keep hearing like these very natural sounding crashing noises in different directions at different like distances away too.
Hmm.
And no animal sounds at all. You do hear like the wind in the trees. You can hear the rivers flowing. Generally, you'd hear birds and owls and critters running around. None of that.
Does my sword glow?
Does that for ghosts, right?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not glow.
Not ghosts. Got it. That's not comforting.
Mm-mm.
Ghosts, you're good at ghosts now. That would be,
Oh, we're the Ghostbusters.
yeah, I can handle that.
I think I tell that to whoever I hand off the watch to.
Okay.
Is like I give you a heads up of like, this is what I was hearing. There's no bird sounds.
Who is it?
I think, is it Hannar or Sausage?
I'll take second watch.
Okay.
Okay.
So Sausage, I'll describe what
Sure.
I heard to you
Yeah.
and say if anything more than that happens, wake me up.
Okay. I'll give a nod of agreement, and I'll settle in for my watch.
It's quiet, but seems normal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the owls are, no, it's fine. Like, there's the bubbling of the river. There's, you know, the breeze. It's like you look up and the stars are there, and there's some like crashing, but maybe it's the branches.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
who knows?
All right, yeah. Then I'll wake you up, Hannar, and hand off the watch.
Do you pass the message from what Runa told you?
Yeah. I'll say.
Runa mentioned that there's, there were strange noises. I haven't heard anything. So it's probably just nerves or something.
I'll keep an eye out.
Rude.
I think
We're being very normal.
I'm being
so.
cautiously optimistic. Yeah.
I think by the way, Hannar has a like silk beard bag that he
Ooh.
sleeps in,
Ooh.
Amazing. I love it. So good.
so it doesn't get tangly and yeah.
So,
So it's like a nightcap, but he wears it.
yeah.
And
My
pulls it
heart
tight.
just grew.
That's awesome.
So do you wear that on watch? Do you just in case?
No,
Okay.
I like when he's
You take
up,
it-
he
okay.
takes it off and tucks it away. But when he's sleeping,
Amazing.
Something is wrong in the forests. Like, Sausage said, "Oh yeah, it seems fine to me." Something is wrong. You hear this crashing noise that's absolutely like, if you heard one might be normal, this is not normal. Something is around you. And you think they might be in the trees, which is dropping these branches, or maybe these are things jumping from the trees onto the ground and then back up into the trees again. That's kind of, you start to hear a little bit of a pattern to it because you rolled so well. It sounds to you like, I can't think of an animal that does this that the dwarves would know of, but like something is in the tree, jumping, landing, and then jumping into another tree. So this crashing sounds like it's not branches falling,
it's something
big.
purposely.
And
Okay.
it might be more than one. And I'm going to say, and you hear that there are no sounds. And you see, I'm sure other people kind of have noticed too, Rainier's like on edge.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna go like kind of stand next to him
Yeah.
and be like, give him the head scritch.
Yeah.
But then like wherever he's kind of looking, that's where I'm.
Yeah. And that's going to be what kind of clues you into it, is like you were told to listen for it, but also you kind of see Rainier going and like looking like he's following, like how a dog would follow something it was watching. Like it's watching. He's watching something. He can see it even if you can't in the darkness. And he's not whining, which honestly isn't a great sign because it means he knows he doesn't want to make any noise. And he looks at you, and somehow this dog is looking at you like,
What are we gonna do?
well, no, like, you see it? Like, it's like,
Mhm.
Are you ready? And he just kind of looks at it and makes sure you're knowing it's there. And then he's going to kind of like go back and like stand like right in the middle of the rest of you who are sleeping. And he's just kind of standing in there while you're sleeping.
I told him where the traps are too.
Yeah, he does.
Absolutely.
Rainier would know. He knows your smell. He would know.
Also, sticks.
Yes. um, and I'm going to say at one point, like you're watching and you look up and you see, you don't know what it is. Like you're looking up at the stars and you see like this dark like shape go across.
Like flying in the sky?
Maybe. Or jumping or somehow
Okay.
going overhead in the night
But,
sky.
like, if it were jumping over me, then it would be leaping from like one side of the river to the other, but like taller than our whole thing? Does it look like it's up in the sky that high, or does it look like it's something that's just over me?
No. It's above the whole rune.
Okay, yeah. That,
So-
all right.
Like if you look up and you see like a bat or something flying and you're like,
Right.
oh, hey, there's a thing up there.
Right.
Something like that, much bigger than a bat, just going over the top of the rune.
Okay.
Whew.
As long as I don't hear anything touching water,
Yeah.
I'm not going to wake anybody else.
Okay. Yeah. Doesn't seem to be any sound of anything crossing water. There's a lot of whatever this is, or maybe it's just one who's constantly on the move. You can't really tell. But it's there. And it's watching all of you very clearly.
I think I specifically try and keep my eyes on wherever I heard the last sound,
Mm-hmm.
just to do the whole like if there's a predator thing out there, whatever it is, it's less likely to come and attack if it sees your face and knows you're aware, kind of thing. So, that's kind of my focus for the rest of the shift. But then when it's time to wake up Aerlind, I would go over and I would say, there's definitely something in the forest.
All right.
And I don't know what, but there was something in the sky.
All right. He like sits straight upright and his bow is already in his hand. Because this is how we slept last night. Thank you. I think I'm going to turn on the lamps. Just open it all up to light.
All right. If you think that's the right thing to do. I didn't. I was kind of worried about making myself more seen.
If it is a creature of darkness, my hope is that it would repel it. All right. Get some rest.
I'd probably light up my torch and hand it to you. Go, I don't think he's going to bed, but
Yeah.
he's going to like sit in the corner and lean on the wall.
Yeah. You can't sleep after that? Weird.
You can tell he's not actually going to sleep because he didn't put the thing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No beard cap. Okay. All right. So it is your watch. You have this torch, which like sort of makes you feel better in like a weird way. Like you knew the light would, but like the weight of having this in your hand, for some reason, gives you a bit of comfort. And you rolled a success, but not any.
Yeah, just made my
plain
success.
Okay. Because it was described to you, you're able to kind of track what it is out there. But it seems like very able to kind of like dip in and out of your awareness. So because you're literally like, I know what this is, you're able to be aware of it, but you aren't able to, like when you look up, you don't see it jumping or flying or whatever it's doing, or any of that. You are aware that it's out there, and you can kind of feel like with your elvish sense of like, just
Something's icky.
Yeah, icky and dark out there. It's sort of like when you have like a bad smell in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like right here, you don't hold your nose, you don't stop breathing. It's like, oh, okay. And you just kind of sense it on like the periphery of your elvish kind of awareness and being. Is that there's something like the opposite of you and your people out here somewhere. And then just slowly the dawn starts to approach. And you can start to see the sky lighten, and the sound stops. And slowly the sounds of the animals kind of start returning. They feel very hesitant to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the birds kind of are chirping again, but it's almost like they're testing, like tweet, tweet, whatever it is. I can't do birds, but like it there is like that. And it's much quieter than most mornings here in the forest, especially since it's like the height of summer and happy times. It's like, oh, okay, this is strange. And but yeah, the entire forest around you just kind of feels a little uncomfortable. And then the sun is up.
I think as everyone's waking up, I'm going and closing all the lanterns and, smothering the torches that I've lit, because I've lit every light that there is to light here. And I return your torch, Hannar.
I tuck it back in the carrying loops.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we should go.
Yes. Good morning.
Seems wise. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I'm very glad I set those traps.
Maybe we should keep them up.
Oh, they're staying until we come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of like look in the direction of Creek's Crossing,
Mm-hmm.
and I just linger on it for a little bit with hopes that everything's gonna be okay, that nothing is gonna come. And then I grab the reins. I grab Cheese's reins again, and I start leading us all out.
Yeah, you can see like there's a few wisps of like fireplaces that have been going throughout the night, and then there's a couple that are more robust, like people are waking up in the morning and starting to cook breakfasts and things like that. So it's a very normal kind of sight to see over the trees from that direction, and it's not like dark fire of like burning buildings. It's like kind of the light smoke of like healthy stoked fires used for cooking meals and warming things up in the morning and things like that.
And the almost finished bridge.
Yeah, an almost finished bridge.
Oh no!
Oh no, not the bridge.
Maybe we should burn that bridge down again. Anyway.
All right. So I think at this point we are going to do a bit of a journey phase. At this point I feel like I would usually skip it, but because you have this like dangerous item and traveling with it, there's a lot of risk involved. I think we're gonna go ahead and do the journey phase. So so you're at your ruins right now. So
I feel like we should just shoot right down the river to Mithlond.
Yeah.
Now, you can see, it depends on where you want to go exactly. So Mithlond and the Grey Havens are there together at the mouth of the Loon River. The towers are slightly inland of that.
Yeah.
So the white towers, Aerlind, are where the Palantir is actually kept. The one that's in the towers. So where would you like to go? Are you going to go?
I want to go to Círdan.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that he's going to be the docks with the ships and not with the tower.
Yes, probably. He goes back and forth. And again, I mean, it's like a very short distance. So that's generally where you would be able to find him. So you're headed to Mithlond. Okay.
Not too long a travel day. Or
No,
not too long a travel at least.
No. Our shortest journey, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, like five hexes. So let's go ahead and choose our roles as we are traveling. This is what happens now that I have to share the studio with another GM.
Ruh-roh.
Oh no.
Damn you, Jason. All right, so we have to pick our different roles in our journey. We've decided it's going to be, you've drawn it on the little, okay, how you do it. And so we need a guide.
I think Aerlind is going to try and we're going home.
Yeah.
Like
I'll give you an extra
Good
die,
try.
for sure. Well, I feel like this is a path you've walked many times.
so many times.
So I'm going to give you an extra die definitely for that, because this is you going between home and your other home. Yeah, it's a well-beaten path for you. All right, who would like the other roles?
I'll take Lookout if nobody minds. Again, I'm kind of like the best equipped for that.
Okay.
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Please don't make Hannar be a lookout.
I can take Hunter.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You don't want to run through the forest with your axes again.
It was so good.
I took a point. I got a little better at it.
Very good.
And you'll scout Hannar.
Yeah, Scout's great. That's my second best one.
Okay. So our guide rolls travel.
Here we go. I might succeed for the first time. Here we go. I do, partly because I roll favored.
Yeah, excellent.
I worked very hard for this.
Yes, you did.
So that is a Gandalf rune and a Tangwar.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And anywhere I travel is like traveling in Borderlands.
Oh, lovely. All right, so on a success, your first event occurs 3 hexes away, but you get another hex for each Tengwar you roll. So basically, that you've just made it so there's only one event on this particular journey. So great job. So I need you please to roll a d6 to find out which one of the event targets are going to face the thing.
1.
1, so that is going to be our scout.
Aha!
Aha! So, please roll Explore, Scout. Oh, and you, favored, please.
Oh, how
'Cause we are in
delightful.
Borderlands.
Awesome.
Well, technically with your skill, right? Or does it just apply to you?
It's just it's just for
Okay.
the journey roll
Just kidding.
attached to me doing it.
Got it. Sorry, I thought you were like, I blessed the whole party with it being in
No,
Borderlands.
that would be really
That'd be
broken.
amazing.
Elves are already super broken.
Well, I made it.
Okay.
Just barely. But barely counts.
Okay.
But no special successes.
Okay. Let's see. So, and we're gonna roll. So 8. What did you get on your? Wait, sorry, 1 second. What's your feat die?
A 6.
A 6. Okay. So there's a mishap, but since you succeeded, it's like an almost mishap.
Sure, okay.
So along the road, what is it that happens that you narrowly avert, or something of that nature?
Hmm.
I'm actually gonna. Is it okay if I fill in?
Sure, if you...
Okay. So as you're going, you're able to make really good time because this is a very familiar road for Aerlind. I'm sure those of you like have at least traveled part of this road because I mean it's sort of on the way to the Shire, so I can see you traveling together and then like splitting off in different directions. So you've probably like are familiar. This is also a very like fairly well, even though it's not an official road on the map, like. We've already established in our fiction, there's like a lot of lumber trade and stuff happening along this route. So you're able to make really good time. And I'm going to say that while you're scouting, you find that something's been following you.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the same thing that was in the forest around you. But while you're scouting, you find like these weird like slash marks on trees and like different things, and you just kind of have like that feeling that you're being watched.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of are like looping back around scouting for problems, and it's just it comes to you as like this feeling of like because you're still carrying the pearl, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Like it just like this awareness of it, of like needing to protect it. Like if you're carrying, something really expensive, like through a dark alley in the middle of the night, and you're just gonna like, oh, I'm gonna hold this a little tighter to me, even if you don't see anything.
Sure,
It's just
sure.
like that feeling of danger and this is precious and vulnerable.
100%, I think, like, I spend a lot of time with, like, one hand sort of in the pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like, kind of rubbing the chain between two fingers.
Mhm.
Like, to just make sure it's still on there, kind of. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably a nervous tick he has now.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So whether by luck or design or skill, you don't actually come into conflict with whatever this thing is, because you become aware of it. And you realize that you're probably very lucky that you've been able to travel this quickly, because it doesn't seem like it has been quite as able to do so, because it obviously isn't using the road. And that's going to be what happens on that journey. And then, you're going to make it into... why don't you tell us? So you come over, because it's cinematic, a rise, even though it makes no sense because it's like lower, but and what do they see as they look?
The river that we spend so much time around opens to this incredible, picturesque gulf, the Gulf of Loon. And on either side, as if they were painted to be the same colors of the sea and the cliffs and the trees around them, rise these intricate, beautiful elven buildings that seem to almost spiral out of the sea on either side. To the left are the elegant gray havens, the ships still sitting and waiting. No passengers, just waiting. They have long, elegant necks of swans that sit with the sails. You see a few of them just kind of getting adjusted, and they have sails that look like great wings. And on the opposite side, the ancient elven kingdom of Mithlond, one of the oldest seats of elves in all of Middle-earth, glints in the morning sun as we come over the rise. And there are seabirds that are scarcely seen anywhere else in Middle-earth that you can always hear just faint cawing and screeching of gulls.
And that's where we're going to end for tonight. So, all right. That was exciting.
That was. I love that description. That was fantastic.
Amazing. All right. Yeah, this is. I know we didn't roll a lot of dice tonight, but I loved tonight. It was so amazing. Thank you all for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did, because I'm having so much fun with this game. I can't even handle it. Thank you to our chat mods, James V, for your amazing hard work tonight. Thank you to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. It's because of you that we're able to play the games we enjoy without having to worry about publishing companies or system popularity. A lot of you may not know we're like a not-for-profit channel, so nobody's actually profiting on this. We're doing this just for love of gaming. So we have enough money to kind of keep the lights on, to run the air conditioning, to pay for the internet connection, and to upgrade stuff. But all the money from our Patreon goes to continuing to upgrade our studio and provide better gaming experiences to each other and for all of you. So it's very exciting, and we really appreciate them. To join the heroic ranks, you can go to happyjacks.org/Patreon. Let's go around the table and tell us who you really are behind your Middle-earth facade. And we'll start on this side of the table since we started there last time. Ready, go.
Hello, I'm allegedly Sam in real life. I've been Runa, the Barding of Bree in our game. You can find me on the internet at Red Pandroid, on most of the socials, and here on Mondays. That's about it right now.
Hi, everybody. I've been Aerlind. I'm Kai. You can find me on all social media platforms as Estelle of Imladris, where I do a lot of this. You will find me on Saturday on Matihi's Twitch channel playing What We Do in the Shallows, a 5e pirate adventure where I play another sea-related elf, but this one's terrible. And then I will, of course, be back here on Monday doing this and almost crying every session because I love it so much and screaming. And then also coming very, very soon, we have just begun the full press, social media release for The Party. It is a web series about a group of friends playing Dungeons and Dragons. What a wild idea. And you can find, I was the costume designer, so I had so much fun, the great pleasure to work on that. You can find us on all social media platforms at Party Web Series. Yes. And we have a trailer coming soon. So yeah, lots going on.
Awesome. Howdy, everybody. I'm Jay, and I played Burl Sausage Brandy-bottom. Glad to be back, and I have stuff to announce, but they've all skipped my mind, so I will save them for next week. Okay. In the meanwhile, you can find me on socials at Transplant Asian and Instagram, and J Africa everywhere else. And yes, I am so looking forward. I'm already looking forward, salivating to next Monday to see where we go.
I'm scared.
I'm so excited.
And I am and continue to be Kadave. You can find me all over the internet at CA Sith Lord. Yeah. There was a big storm and it caused power problems all over Southern California because it's not supposed to hail here. What ridiculous. But I will this week 100% be back to play some more Dave the Diver on Twitch. Come on by and watch, and we'll see what we can find in the depths. Because last time there was a kraken in the background. I don't want to fight that. I'm just a dude that goes swimming and spearfishes to feed hungry sushi eaters. So, Yeah.
Kraken's on the menu now.
I mean, eventually, you know.
Or like a giant anglerfish.
I'm sure.
That thing was not going to taste good.
No. All right. And I am Kimi. I've been your Loremaster for this amazing game. And every night, every Monday, it's just like my catharsis and amazing. And I cannot wait to go to Elven City next week. I'm so excited. Okay, I'll be fine. It'll be okay. I'm getting myself together. You can find me at Golden Lasso Girl all over the internet. You can find the games that I write at goldenlassogames.com. And currently I have Decima, which will be in stock, I think, later this week. So like actual cards that I can like send you. They're beautiful and they're getting reprinted with amazing art by Samantha. It's so beautiful. I love all of it. And also I have a PBTA game called Starscape, which we did a very unexpected one shot of yesterday. That is in beta right now. If you go to also goldenlassogames.com, you can find it there and download it for whatever you want to pay right now, which means whenever the final version comes out, you'll get it for free, basically. So beta test it. Give me feedback. And yes, I'm here every Monday night doing this game. I'm here every Friday night for our advice show. And I'm also here right now on Sundays playing a super, super wild warrior for demigods run by Jason. So it's a busy week for me right now. It's a lot of gaming, which I love. So thank you again, everyone. If you want to catch up on this amazing story, go to happyjacks.org/unsung tales. This is the 10th session, so we have so much story that's happened so far and so much story we can still do. It's so great. So check that out, and you can find all the shows and past campaigns and 25 plus systems at happyjacks.org. And yeah, we will see you next week. Thank you so much, and bye.
Bye.
Ah.
See you next time.